Well, daylight saving time is on the horizon, shall I say already. About 70 countries practice daylight savings time and impacting over 1 billion people. When did it start, and is it worth your time? Here was what you need to know about all this is Shari. You know, I thought this was really interesting when I heard about that we were going to discuss this topic, because there's so much history behind daylight saving time.
Right, and for people in our age group, we just assume it has always been here, but that's not really the case. So actually during World War I, the Germans were the ones who initiated something like changing the clocks, and it was mostly to save on war resources, and eventually that spread to the rest of Europe, and here was something called the Standard Time Act. It happened again in World War II when Roosevelt started what he called wartime. He had people change the clock to wartime. But between the 40s and the 60s, there really was no regulation. So you had different states, and even sometimes in some cases, different localities operating on different time schedules, which really created problems, like for train schedules and things like that. So in the 1960s, we had something called the Uniform Time Act, and that's where the federal government said, look, a state can decide what they want to do, but it has to apply to the whole state, and if you're going to do daylight saving time, we're all going to be on a calendar where daylight savings time is from April until October. So we had some uniformity at that point with that. The last actual major change was about 12 years ago, as recently as 12 years ago, where that was changed from March until November.
Yeah, we start earlier and we end it later.
But a lot of people don't realize that, because we just know, oh, next week you change the clock. We don't realize that it's now 65% of the year.
We just go with the flow.
Right.
All right. Well, so was it sort of continued on then as a way to conserve energy?
So part of it was for energy conservation, but there have also been other arguments and studies and research over the years. Traffic studies show that there are less traffic accidents thanks to daylight savings time. Violent crime allegedly goes down. Supposedly there are better economics because more sunlight, more people are out spending money, and then health effects. There are some studies that show there are less workplace injuries, less depression, less heart attacks even. On the other hand, there have been studies that show that there are more sleep disorders because of daylight saving time. So there's evidence on both sides.
Do all the states practice it?
So right now, all the states except for Hawaii, Guam, Puerto Rico, Virgin Islands, and actually Arizona practice it. It's up to the state to decide. Some states it's up to the legislator, and other states allow the governor. Here in Florida, we actually had a bill in 2008 to nix daylight saving time, and there's actually a bill pending right now called the Sunshine Protection Act, which, if it passes, come this fall, we will not be setting the clocks back.
Oh, that's kind of cool. Now, why do these states opt out? I mean, can they? You're allowed to do that, I take it?
The states that opt out tend to do that because they feel that they don't need it. Okay. So here in Florida, for example, the lengths of our day are about the same during the summer and the winter. You notice they're all sort of sunshine states that have opted out.
Oh, okay. I think that's really interesting. Very good to know.
Sure.
Thank you so much. And remember, it's March. It's a Sunday. That's Saturday night when you go to bed, 7th, 6th to 7th, or whatever. It's not this
spring ahead.
Yep, it's this coming weekend. So get on it. Don't forget, mark the calendars. Shari, thanks for joining us.
Sure.